Off. All right, welcome back to Fandom at Random. We're doing a random review today. My name is Brian at Random, and we have She Needs a Priest / lesgeek.
Yes.
Yeah? All right, we're going to be talking about Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. And first off, let's get to know our guest a little bit because Fandom at Random, anybody who listens knows that this is my first solo interview and a partnered review, so it should be interesting. But let's get to know you first. So, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. What are we at with that?
I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, WordPress, and Letterboxd. And you can usually find me by searching She Needs a Priest. But if you go to my Instagram at lesgeek, I have a link tree. You can click on that.
Awesome.
And I also am writing movie reviews for Wicked Cat Clothing, their website.
Okay.
And right now, my followers, if you go and shop there, you get 30% off with my promo code Priest30.
All right, cool. Yeah. I'm gonna have to check it out too then.
Yeah, they have really great shirts and stuff.
Awesome. I love me some shirts. All right, and so you do, your content creator, you do review. I've personally watched some of your reviews, and that's why I wanted to ask you on here, because unlike a lot of these big name reviewers and stuff, yours seem a lot more genuine, realistic, not like you're trying to please anybody, but just what you thought of the movie,
Oh, thank you. That's what I go for.
Yeah, so hopefully people listening, go and check her out. She's awesome. But and we're on Fandom at Random here, so if you're new, or if maybe you're coming from a fan of She Needs a Priest, fandomatrandom.com. We also have Fandom at Random podcast on Instagram and Facebook as well, so go and check that out.
And YouTube.
This will also be up at Fandom at Random's YouTube. Yep. So, yeah, as I said, we're getting into a movie review, and we're going to be doing Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. Mm-hmm. First off, it's a new one. It's a reboot. It's directed by William Eubank, and it came out, I want to say 2 months ago. I don't know the exact date, but what were you expecting going into this new Paranormal Activity? So did you see every other Paranormal Activity?
Yes. I'm a big fan of that franchise, actually. I really like the found footage style and the POV style. I was expecting more to the story, like the original story.
Right.
I wasn't expecting a completely different chapter.
Yeah. So I tried to go into it blind because, like you, I know a lot of people in the horror community, they have a thing against found footage, but I love it personally.
I love it too. Yeah.
If it's done right, you get movies like, off the top of my head, I can't even think because
Houses That October Built.
Yeah, Hell House LLC.
Yes.
Ghost Encounters, not the first, not the second one, the first one, but yeah, those ones are all amazing. And I was hoping for something out of this one, but I don't think we got it because, like you said, it wasn't connected to the originals in any way. Mm-mm. But at the same time, they didn't start a story that I was very interested in right off the bat either.
No, it was completely different. But I see where they're going because, I mean, there's only, what is this, the 6th installment or the 7th?
Yeah, 7th, I think.
Yeah, I mean, 6 movies kind of centering around the same characters. Maybe it's time to take a different direction.
Right.
But once we got into the community, I was like, okay, this could be good. This could be good.
Using that kind of old school Amish community definitely played into the atmosphere a lot.
Because it was also kind of like because most of the movies are centered around technology.
Yeah.
To go into a community where there's no technology, I thought was a neat juxtaposition.
No, definitely. And I agree with you there completely. I think using that setting definitely was one of the highlights of the movie.
Yeah, because you only had the 2 cameras, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, talking about technology, I think they went a little wild with technology. I'm going to jump ahead here real quick. No spoilers, but the slow motion parts.
The camera shots, did you like them or no?
So I thought they looked cool, but at the same time, in the middle of all the action that we'll get into later, I didn't understand it. Like, was it bugging out?
Right?
Yeah, was it bugging out and accidentally going slow motion? And if that's the case, it was a really convenient bug out,
Yeah, exactly.
So they look cool, but again, they were misplaced, I think.
The slow-mo killing or not to give away spoilers.
That's all right. I mean, and
there's
warning
a
here.
really, there's a unique kill. I'm just going to say that.
Right. Yeah.
That's done in slow-mo, and that actually worked really well.
Yeah, it did, and it looked amazing.
I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And warning for anybody watching, spoilers, of course.
I try not to give spoilers because I don't like to ruin it for other people.
Me too, and that's why I'm going to try and skate around it a lot. I just like to put spoilers just in case, but we'll do our best to avoid any big moments, you know.
Yeah.
So,
exactly.
All right, back to the beginning. What'd you think of the characters right off the bat? Margot, Chris, Dale. What'd you think of them?
I liked Margot. Chris, I think they could have cast somebody a little bit better. I didn't find him a very likable character. There wasn't much to really draw him in other than the fact that he was trying to connect with the kids in the community.
Right.
The best character was Dale, hands down.
Absolutely. I agree.
He was great.
Yep.
He was great.
Yeah. And it was good because at first I'm sitting there like, well, Margot's good. Chris is kind of meh. So I'm sitting there thinking we need somebody. And then Dale came.
And then Dale rolls up in his van and I'm like, yes.
Yeah. The further we go in the movie, I'm like, all right, we have a character that'll draw us into it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, I thought that was cool. And for people not familiar, the story starts off with Margot, who was dropped off at a fire station as a child. And she goes looking for her family and she finds them on a DNA test site or something like that. Finds a living relative, Samuel, who comes from an Amish community, and they decide to document the experience with a hidden agenda, of course. She's actually looking to find out what happened to her mother, not just document Amish people. And we go from there. So we meet the characters, we get into the community. Everything seems normal but creepy a little bit, you know. As they show up in the middle of the storm, Jacob, the father, seems a little bit off and whatnot. But yeah, so I think it starts off like any normal Paranormal Activity where we have the found footage, we're building up the story, and for the most part, nothing seemed too different, you know.
A few jump scares.
Yeah, a few jump scares. Once they're settled in, once they eat, some of the best scenes in the movie, personally, were the dinners when they're like singing and banging on the table, and that kind of got my blood pumping. I'm like, okay, what's up with that? You know?
Exactly. As you got further in, you learn that the community is just not quite what they seem.
Exactly, which I think we could have all predicted.
Exactly.
I think we knew that was coming. I was always, since I didn't watch any trailers or anything, I was waiting for the connection to the old movies to pop up.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Just waiting and waiting. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. Or maybe fortunately, like you said, it was time to end that storyline.
I mean, who can tell what the future holds? Like, I do think that this is the setting up of a new chapter of Paranormal Activity, because I think they can play another movie or two off of this story.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the best part of it. I think with the ending and the story we got, there's a lot of possibilities to branch off into this universe. So
yeah, because it's not really resolved, is it?
No, not really. Which is good. I mean, you know, I didn't dislike this enough to where I don't think we could see another one, you know?
No, me neither. I'd totally watch another one.
Yeah, but in the middle of the movie, we had some classic Paranormal Activity moments. We had some ghosts or possibly manifestations or spirits up in the attic scene, you know. That creeped me out.
Scene. Yeah, that one was done really well.
Not too much of a spoiler, but when she's under the bed and the bed just sinks and somebody's sitting there, I was like, okay, here we go. You know.
Yeah, that's the stuff I like.
Yeah, so I was happy about that. What other scenes in particular, without, you know, throwing out too much of the story, do you think popped out to you besides that one?
The scene where they find the door and they go down underneath. I don't know if they're underneath the church or just underneath the house.
Yeah.
And they have what looks to be a two-headed lamb.
Right. Yeah, when they go... First of all, let me just say, there was a point in this movie where I'm like, these kids need to mind their own fucking business.
Yeah, I know. Stop poking around.
Yeah, just stop
Stupid
it.
white people.
Yeah. Absolutely. But we did get that good scene. Like you said, they're snooping around. They dig under the house and that two-headed lamb was born. That was a good one. And
Yeah.
then, they sneak down the tunnel in the church, and that was another good scene.
Yes.
So, we definitely got the idea that satanic going-ons were happening,
Yes.
Yeah, that was another good scene.
Demon
So,
worshippers.
yeah. And unfortunately for me, I think that's where the movie started going a little downhill.
Oh,
Because, after that, don't get me wrong, I love that scene. But then when we started getting under the church and finding out what really was going on, I think they showed a little too much, if you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in a movie like this, the less we see, the scarier it can be.
It is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so not only that, but the camera shaking, which was a big part of it for me, because a lot of Paranormal Activities, the first 3, it was all stationary angles.
That's
and
right.
that's kind of what I liked about it. We had these clear cut shots and everything. This one,
it wasn't like Blair Witch-ish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we got at the end of this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it didn't ruin the movie for me or anything, but it also didn't, it wasn't a highlight for me either,
Yeah. And the ending, I was, it took me a couple tries to watch the ending before I really like understood what was happening.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause, again, we're at the point of view of everybody else finding out, what's going on at the same time. And like you said, I think I had to rewind it a couple of times to be like, okay, what was happening here? And it's nothing new. It's been done before. I think maybe even some found footage movies have done it before, but they did it pretty well. And I will say the reveal of, let's just say the enemy or the big bad or the antagonist was creepy, to say the least. Me personally, I don't know about you, satanic/demon horror movies are some of my favorite subgenre.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So I was happy to know it was going down this. And then the twist that we get about the family, thought that was a little light, I guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, but otherwise,
not totally unexpected.
Yeah, not totally unexpected. We knew something was going on, and it was just like, oh yeah, there are these people, and it's like, okay. But yeah, other than that, we get to that scene where chasing through the snow, and those slow-mo scenes, we can kind of dig into it a little more. Like you said, it was really cool when it was happening. Let's just say a character gets injured in a bloody way.
It was oh my God.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, even though it's completely convenient and out of place, I love that they put it in.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean? I was very happy that they put it in.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the ending could have been wrapped up a little tighter while still leaving it open. What do you think?
I think so too. Because it wasn't, the big thing I have was that the demonic presence was female. Right. So I don't want to give it away. Right. So
again, I mean, while we're talking about it though, if it comes up, we're no spoilers here, so we can talk,
just having the male character, I don't know. It confused me a little bit, having it jump. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, maybe because there's a scene in the movie where Jacob says that only women can carry certain things.
Yes.
And men can't. So I'm thinking, okay, this must be like a temporary thing while he's going to try to catch her.
That's what I was thinking too. And like you said, it came up right away. Women are only strong enough to hold this entity, and by proxy, men cannot, That's right. So to see him take it, not only that, hold it in and continue with it, I was like,
how far is this going to go?
Yeah. So what, I mean, what's going on here?
And also, I mean, they were mid-ritual.
Yeah. So I think a lot of things, we all know that if you're in the middle of a ritual and something gets messed up, we don't know what can go on from there, right?
And even one of the women warned Chris, You don't know what you're doing. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And that was the witch, right? The
yes.
white witch. Yeah. Because we kind of get an explanation on what the family's doing, what they're trying to do, that type of thing. So,
yeah.
It was pretty good, but again, could have wrapped up a little better in the end for me.
Yeah.
But overall, I'd say we got a decent new start to a story, and it leaves us with something we can get more out of, and I'm happy with that because again, like you, I love found footage films.
Yeah, me too. It's totally worth a watch. I'd probably watch it again, actually.
Yeah, I'd say I'd probably give it another watch for sure.
Yeah, like I think a good solid 3.5 out of 5.
3.5 out of 5. I like that. Yep. I think I was going to go 3 out of 5, so I think we're right on the same page with that. Now, another good question. In the line of Paranormal Activity movies, first of all, which one's your favorite?
Oh, gosh.
Got to put you under the knife here.
I think it was either the second or the third one. The one with the little girls.
Yeah, I think that was the third one.
That one was crazy. Really, really scary.
Is that the one at the end where the guy gets snapped in half?
Yes.
Oh my God, that one messed me up a little bit.
Yeah, there was so much happening in that movie. I was just like, oh my God.
You're absolutely right.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And it's the same writer or the same director, actually, and the same writer, because Christopher Landon wrote number 2, 3, 4, and
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, that makes sense. That's why it felt similar.
Yes. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I think I always have to go with the original for mine. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, because it was so different than anything else that was out there at the time.
Yeah, and
it kind of really kicked off that found footage style.
It did. It's like Blair Witch started it and kind of laid the foundation. Paranormal Activity really perfected the building on top of the foundation.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think the third one would be my second one. So in the line of movies, where would you throw this one? And even general, like middle end?
I would say probably not the end, but not the middle, about 3/4.
Yeah. All right. That's
about
good.
3/4.
Yeah. I think 3/4 is good. Yeah. See, for me, because I've been thinking about this a lot, it would be from good to worst. It would be Paranormal Activity, the original, then the third one, then the second one, then this one, and then Ghost Dimensions or whatever, and then the marked ones.
Yeah, I didn't really care that much for those.
Those two at the end, they didn't really do anything for me.
This is better, I think, than those two. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, especially because, like you said, with a lot going on in a movie, it can get confusing. And I think those last two they just went off the deep end.
They did. They did. And it was a lot of characters, and it was a lot to keep up with. And no, I like this one.
Yeah.
I thought it was decent.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent watch. I know some people are crapping on it, but whatever. I enjoyed it. I think other people.
All the gatekeepers crap on everything.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm a gatekeeper of Rob Zombie movies, which I know you. One of these days.
It's not that I don't like. I want to love his movies. I really, really do. House of a Thousand Corpses is one of my favorite movies, and I loved his Halloween reboot. I loved Halloween.
See, that's good to know. Yeah, I love it too. But the controversial opinion I have is that Halloween 2 is one of my top favorite horror movies.
And see, that's unique because I did a video that kind of went viral on TikTok about Rob Zombie movies, and almost everyone hated the second one.
Yeah,
I didn't hate the second one.
Yeah, see, I looked at it as less of a Halloween movie, more of a new slasher.
Yes.
And kind of looked at it with fresh eyes, and I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
But Annie's death in that really topped it off for me. With Brad Dourif, just his acting was top notch.
I mean, it always is, right?
Yeah, it is. It is.
He's like one of those iconic horror character actors,
right. And not to get off topic too much, but have you seen the new Chucky series?
I haven't yet, and I need to. It's on my list. I'm watching the I Know What You Did Last Summer series.
That one I tried to watch the first episode, couldn't get into it. Does it get
really
better in
like
the end?
it.
Yeah.
I'm liking it, although I'm kind of slagging off the last couple of episodes. But
Okay. All
I
right.
was really enjoying that one for a while, and I'm finishing off Ghost Wars on Netflix.
Ghost Wars. I've heard of
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Vincent D'Onofrio is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh. I'm gonna have to
yeah, and
check that
he's
one
great.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I
yeah.
can honestly say that Chucky feels like the old movies that we all love.
The
And
original movie that I
yeah, I've
snuck
been
into the theater when I was 13 to watch.
there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. See? I did that with Scream too. That was my movie, and I got so scared I had to run out.
Scream. I love the Scream series. You're so
Yep,
great.
me as well. But yeah, so I would check out Chucky. But anyway, yeah, the Paranormal Activity, getting back to that, again, right in the middle of the road, definitely worth a watch. And
Yep.
3.5 from She Needs a Priest here, and 3 from me out of 5. So if you like the series, you'll love this movie, or like this movie at least.
Yeah,
But
you'll enjoy it. I think
yeah.
so. There's enjoyable moments for sure.
Absolutely. And you know, while we're talking, let's finish it off a little bit. So, what got you into horror? I'm kind of curious because everyone's got that story. I know I have mine, and I'll tell you after. But what got you into horror to begin with?
Well, my mom was a huge horror fan.
Nice.
So a lot of times my mom would put on an old movie or something like that, and then I'd watch it with her. The first movie I watched, I was 7. I saw Jaws. That scared the crap out of me.
Yep.
And then at 8, I saw Poltergeist, and then we got a VCR. And then whenever my dad was away hunting or whatever, my mom and I would just rent tons of movies. And yeah, I've been watching horror movies since I was about 7, 8 years old.
Awesome.
I read a lot of horror comics. I read horror novels. I love it. I don't know why. It's like an escape.
Yeah, I hear you. And actually, I just recently got more into horror books. Have you read Stolen Tongues?
I have not. Who's the author?
Oh my God. Felix Blackwell, I believe.
Oh.
Let me tell you that a book has not scared me since I read The Shining when I was like 13.
Which is one of my all-time favorite books, yes.
Yes, and mine as well.
Yeah.
This book, Stolen Tongues, made me do the quiet run to my bedroom at night because it freaked me out that bad, you know?
Oh, you'll have to remind me about that. Send me a
I
message
will,
because I want to look it up.
I can't recommend it enough to horror fans. It's creepy, it's scary, and it's a quick read. I think I read it in like 3 days. So
oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm looking for a good creepy read right now. Yeah. Oh, I'm still working my way through Stephen King's If It Bleeds.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Nice. I got to check that one out too. It's actually perfect too because it's like in a snow setting, so it's good for a winter read, you know.
Oh yeah, especially when you live on the East Coast.
Yep. But I would highly recommend that. Yeah, no, so my little horror story is when I was like 6, I snuck into the room when my mom and aunt were watching Nightmare on Elm Street 2 and saw the bus.
The worst of the franchise.
Yeah. See, and here we have different opinions here. I love it. It's
because it's your first one.
It is. It's because it's my first one. But actually, when I rewatched it as an older person, it kind of clicked, and I realized that Freddy is just as scary in that one as he is in the first one.
Maybe I need to give it a rewatch.
And yeah, even with the overtones, you know, the gay overtone and everything else, actually, I think it adds to it even more now.
Yeah, probably more relevant now.
But yeah, so when I saw that bus scene with the claw coming out of her chest, not only was I scared, but I was like, this is my world. This is what I want, you know?
I remember watching the first Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 11. And that was the first time I ever had one of those Jack Black looking over the mountain moments.
Oh, yeah.
Afterwards, I was like, where am I going in life?
Yeah, I know. What are we doing here?
I was totally hooked to being scared. I don't know. I love it.
Me too. I mean, and that's why as you grow up as a horror fan, you're always looking for something to scare you because you lose that feeling, you know?
You're always chasing that ride.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Have you watched the Hatchet series?
Yes, I've watched it multiple times. That's the perfect modern callback to the old slashers, you know?
It's so good.
When you're overwatching Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street so many times, you can throw in Hatchet, get a new modern version, and off to the races.
Yeah,
You know?
and it was just a perfect balance of like slasher, gore, and comedy. Like,
Absolutely.
I even saw some like homage to Fulci in that movie.
Yeah, definitely. And Adam Green, I mean, I think he's just great at being a horror fan and making movies for horror fans.
That's the best part. I actually, the last podcast I did, it was Horror and More with Anya Gore. We got to interview Keith Cooper, who wrote Anything for Jackson.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've seen that one yet.
Not yet, no.
Really, really good. And that movie is made by two guys who are horror fans.
Yeah.
So it is made for horror fans. It's got lots of little Easter eggs in it. It's just like great movie.
Yep, I'll have to check it out. What was the name of it again?
Anything for Jackson.
Anything for Jackson. Okay. Yep. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, that's the best part is like I feel like we've been getting good horror, and if you're a horror fan and dig into the community, you can find some good stuff. Like, I don't know if you've watched do you like the Friday the 13th franchise?
I do to a degree.
Yeah, right.
I do to a degree. I find sometimes it's just a little over the top.
I'm kind of exactly in the same spot. Yeah. Now, there's two fan films. One's called Never Hike Alone, and Never Hike Alone in the Snow. They're both free on YouTube, and they're fan films, but they're amazing. They're better than half the horror movies that come out these days, you know?
Get out. I'm gonna have to take a look at those.
Yeah, so if you're curious, looking for something, it's like a half an hour, 45 minutes long. Never Hike Alone is definitely the best one. Yeah.
Never Hike Alone.
But the community is really cool. You can find some really good stuff.
That's what I love about the community too. Like, everybody talks about different movies, and it's like, hey, I haven't seen that. That sounds really good. And I like listening to people's takes and their reviews. And
definitely,
it's really fun.
That's why I'm always scouting the social medias to find other people, you know?
Yeah, same.
It's cool to sit here and talk with you about it. It's like I want to bring up all the horror movies I've recently seen, you know?
Yeah.
But no, hopefully I can get on here with you again about another movie, you know? We can become friends, keep in touch about stuff. You know?
I'd love to. Absolutely.
Otherwise, I think our review went pretty well.
Yeah, I can talk about horror movies all day. So
me too. I literally could turn this into a 2-hour podcast if I wanted. But we will end it here so we don't lose people's focus. You know what I mean? Keep it nice and tight. Paranormal Activity, Next of Kin, available right now. It's free on, I want to say Paramount Plus, right?
It's on Amazon Prime is where I watched it.
Okay. So you can watch it anywhere, but I think Amazon Prime, Paramount Plus.
Probably most VOD sites.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So 3.5, 3, average, middle of the road. Otherwise, go ahead and tell everyone your socials again real quick.
She Needs a Priest. So if you find me on Instagram at lesgeek, it's LES geek. I have a link tree, and you can find all of my socials there.
Awesome. And let me tell you, I mean, if you like hearing people talk about horror movies or reviews or their opinions on horror, I honestly dig it. I like your stuff. So go and check her out.
Thank you.
And otherwise, we are Fandom at Random. My name is Brian at Random. Check us out, fandomatrandom.com. This will be up hopefully in a day or two. And let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
See ya.